What quote has always stuck with you? Well, if it isn't the consequences of my own actions, that's a problem for future me. Boy am I glad I'm not high, monsieur. Saw it on a random post once. Growing up, I didn't have a role model. I just had people I didn't want to be like. Stuck with me for years. Edit. Thanks for the gold. My highest. Anything on Reddit along with my first gold. Thanks, stranger. It is possible to commit no mistakes and still lose. That is not a weakness. That is life. Captain Picard. Well, just got out of a relationship where I was the best person I'd ever been. Wore my heart on my sleeve without fear and still got heartbroken. Was feeling like I'd go back to my old self and never do it again, but I think I'll just keep this quote with me. What is the most important step a man can take? Not the first, but the next one. Always the next one. I also love, sometimes a hypocrite is nothing more than a man in the process of changing. How lucky I am to have something that makes saying goodbye so hard. Winnie the Pooh. They say nothing is impossible, but I do nothing every day. Same bear. Edit. Well, my first gold. I've always wondered what it feels like. Thank you. Edit 2. Typo. And I urge you to please notice when you are happy. And exclaim or murmur or think at some point, if this isn't nice, I don't know what is. Kurt Vonnegut. My friend often says out loud that she's having a good time, or that she was having a good time. I catch myself saying it out loud more and more. Checking your happiness box really makes you appreciate that you are in fact having a good time. Asterisk. Isn't it funny how day by day nothing changes, but when you look back everything is different? Asterisk. C.S. Lewis. I wish there was a way to know you're in the good old days before you've actually left the monsieur. Andy Bernard. Though yesterday's over and time is a blur. How well I remember the way that we were. The summers we spent by the blue and the green. The days and the nights in the lights of the screen. How well I remember the three of us then. I think of us often. Again and again. I think of us always. Uneager to part. The dream in the head and the hope in the heart. But one day we didn't. I can't think of why. The summer was finished, and days passed us by. And yesterday's over and time is a blur. How well I remember the way that we were. Worrying is like a rocking chair. It gives you something to do but doesn't get you anywhere. Someone who has their shit together. They may forget what you said, but they will never forget how you made them feel. People will forget what you said. People will forget what you did. But people will never forget how you made them feel. That's the full quote I learned. However, cannot seem to remember from where. Don't fuck up your credit, Mom. Hire good people and get out of their way. My dad used to say, if you don't have the balls to say it twice, don't say it once. Funny story. There was this one Queen concert in Queen's early days. Someone shouted a gay slur at Freddie Mercury. You know what this mad lad did? He directed the stage light on the guy and asked him to repeat it. The guy didn't. Why would anyone pay money to a Queen concert and shout a gay slur? Like I'm going to go to a drag queen hangout and shout, fuck cross-dressing. Quote. Some people hate their own lives so much that they will spend time and money to hate other people who live happy lives. A smooth sea never made a skilled sailor. Reminds me of a ship is safe at dock, but that is not what it's built for. Edit. Sleep deprivation's a bitch. The quote is, a ship in harbor is safe, but that is not what ships are built for. John Augustus Shedd. After Frodo says, I wish it need not have happened in my time, referring to Sauron gaining power, Gandalf responds, so do I. And so do all who live to see such times. But that is not for them to decide. All we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given us. She was 1 in a million. So there's 5 more just in New South Wales. From a song. Edit. Since this has blown up a bit, song is Up Against the Wall by the Whitlams. Emo, not one of their better songs at all. Fall for You. Melbourne. Blow Up the Pokies and No Aphrodisiac are their best ones. Melbourne has another classic line that takes a really realistic approach to romance. If I had 3 lives, I'd marry her in 2. The days are long, but the years are short. Not sure who said it though, grimacing face. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. Maya Angelou. Greater than when someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. FTFY. You could be the most delicious, juicy peach in the world, but there will always be people who fucking hate peaches. They've promised that dreams can come true, but forgot to mention that nightmares are dreams. 2. Oscar Wilde. If you wait until you're ready, you'll be waiting for the rest of your life. Or something like that. If you were waiting for the opportune moment, that was it. Captain Jack Sparrow. At one point, you played with your friends for the last time, and you didn't even know it. Last online, 8 years ago. Edit. Wow, thanks for silver. Last thing they said, see you tomorrow, bro. At one point, your mother picked you up in her arms for the last time and she didn't even know it. Every accomplishment starts with the decision to try. JFK. Do, or do not, there is no try. Yoda. If you're not enough without it, you'll never be enough with it. John Candy and Cool Runnings. Your past doesn't define you. It just gives you the starting point of who you're going to be. Agent Carolina. Doesn't really have much real-life application, but I love this one. Greater than there are so many stories where some brave hero decides to give their life to save the day and, because of their sacrifice, the good guys win. The survivors all cheer, and everybody lives happily ever after. But the hero never gets to see that ending. They'll never know if their sacrifice actually made any difference. They'll never know if the day was really saved. In the end, they just have to have faith. Greater than ain't that a bitch. Church. Asterisk. If you deal with an asshole in the morning, you dealt with an asshole. If you deal with the assholes all day, you're the asshole. Asterisk. It taught me that I'm a total asshole. I was reading a thing on driving. Someone said pretty much that. If everyone's an asshole, you're the asshole. Powerful words. I never get pissy when I drive anymore. Except for people that drive 5 to 10 under the limit with dry roads and sunshine. Hurt people hurt people. A clear conscience is a good pillow. My maternal grandmother. Love like nobody's looking. Dance like you've never been hurt. And fuck like you don't need the money. My drunk me ma'am circa 1992. Now that I know better, I do better. Measure twice. Cut once. Edit. Woke up this morning to this blowing up. Thank you for the awards. It was from the movie Good Will Hunting. This quote has always stuck with me. So if I asked you about art, you'd probably give me the skinny on every art book ever written. Michelangelo. You know a lot about High Monsieur life's work, political aspirations, him and the Pope, sexual orientations, the whole works, right? But I'll bet you can't tell me what it smells like in the Sistine Chapel. You've never actually stood there and looked up at that beautiful ceiling. Seen that. If I ask you about women, you'd probably give me a syllabus about your personal favorites. You may have even been late a few times. But you can't tell me what it feels like to wake up next to a woman and feel truly happy. You're a tough kid. And I'd ask you about war. You'd probably throw Shakespeare at me. Right. Once more unto the breach, dear friends. But you've never been near one. You've never held your best friend's head in your lap. Watch him gasp his last breath looking to you for help. I'd ask you about love. You'd probably quote me a sonnet. But you've never looked at a woman and been totally vulnerable. Known someone that could level you with her eyes. Feeling like God put an angel on earth just for you. Who could rescue you from the depths of hell. And you wouldn't know what it's like to be her angel. To have that love for her. Be there forever. Through anything. Through cancer. And you wouldn't know about sleeping sitting up in the hospital room for 2 months. Holding her hand. Because the doctors could see in your eyes that the terms visiting hours don't apply to you. You don't know about real loss. 'Cause it only occurs when you've loved something more than you love yourself. And I doubt you've ever dared to love anybody that much. And look at you. I don't see an intelligent, confident man. I see a cocky, scared shitless kid. But you're a genius, fool. No one denies that. No one could possibly understand the depths of you. But you presume to know everything about me because you saw a painting of mine. And you ripped my fucking life apart. That's a really good movie and a good quote. Ah yes. The past can hurt, but the way I see it, you can either run from it or learn from it. The Lion King original. When they didn't include it in the live action, I was devastated. Seriously. As a grown woman, I almost said out loud in the theater, "They skipper the stick scene." Quote, greater than, "They skipper the stick scene." I just imagined this yelled angrily with a heavy Swedish accent. Removed. If you have good thoughts, they will shine out of your face like sunbeams and you will always look lovely. Roald Dahl. Nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. Theodore Roosevelt. My grandmother used to say, "Enough is as much as a feast." I hated it when I was a kid, but grew to appreciate it. My boyfriend often compares himself to his peers and feels inadequate. Whenever we're having a beautiful moment with our bazillion children, I ask them, "What do you think the rich people are doing?" It puts things into perspective so well, because there's plenty of moments we're richer than kings. Greater than. My boyfriend often compares himself to his peers and feels inadequate. I did this too, until a very wise person told me to stop comparing your behind the scenes with everyone else's highlights reel. Oh, right. The poison. The poison for Cusco. The poison chosen especially to kill Cusco. Cusco's poison. Me trying to write a 3,000-word essay. When a coworker told me a while back, "What do you call the doctor that graduated at the bottom of his class?" Answer: doctor. I work in a pharmacy. I encounter this doctor's prescriptions every day. I am making rapid progress in the art of using many words to say nothing at all. Otto von Bismarck. Iron Chancellor. Life is just a race against time, so have a good time. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. Do not pray for an easy life, pray for the strength to endure a difficult one. Bruce Lee. Can't remember if it's him or another Kung Fu master, but the best I can remember this quote: "I do not fear the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks one time. I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times." Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.